those things where even the nosebleeds are a little expensive. So I think that might have something to do with it. I could be wrong. I would think that big shows like this, you definitely have your tiers of where you're going to sit and how much they are. But I would say, man, when you get the nosebleeds, let's make them freaking cheap, dirt cheap. Sell a bunch of those. And why not? Let's sell all these seats we can. And maybe that's something as we get closer that'll happen. Who knows? I mean, it's only 2 weeks away.
A week before SummerSlam, WWE had a ticket problem. Not an empty stadium problem. Let's be precise. A pricing problem, a perception problem, and possibly a problem with asking fans to pay a premium money for a 2-night event before they even know whether the weekend justifies the damn cost. And then, out of all people, AJ Styles said the quiet part out loud. But we'll get to that. He pretty much said, let's make them freaking cheap. Dirt cheap. Sell a bunch of those. That is the quote. And here's the question that comes to mind when it comes to SummerSlam. If WWE has to start making the nosebleeds tickets dirt cheap to move those tickets, is that a short-term promotion, or is it evidence that we've been speaking about all year that the original pricing strategy is missing the audience? Welcome to the tea drop, where the brew is strong and there's lots to talk about. We are going through the actual numbers, the venue configuration, AJ Styles comments, WWE's $25 promotion, and what this really tells us about the live event business. So let's get to it. Before we get into this argument, I guess we can call it, we need to clean up the record. The document we are working from to set up this video, we originally were comparing it to MetLife Stadium. But when the documents that we originally looked at didn't work out. But anyway, we fixed it. We move on. Let's actually focus on this year. SummerSlam 2026 is scheduled for August 1st and the 2nd at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's a very important venue because they've been promoting that venue for, I believe, at least 3 years now, because that was the first venue they announced they were going to do SummerSlam for 2 nights. But they instead decided to start the 2-night SummerSlam last year at MetLife Stadium. WWE's official announcement described the US Bank Stadium as having about more than 66,000 seats in its standard configuration, which basically I believe is the typical football setup. But for wrestling events, those necessarily mean that we'll have more. You have the ring, right? You have the wrestling ring, you have the entrance stage, you have production equipment, you have camera platforms, you have a blocked out sightline areas, you have premium seating arrangements. So it might become more than that. We might be getting a decent amount. The stadium holds over 60,000 people. That does not automatically mean WWE intended to sell 60,000 seats, wrestling tickets per each night. Building capacity is not the same as a wrestling event setup. The useful question, though, is how many seats did WWE actually put on sale, and how many of those seats were distributed at this point? This is where the WrestleTix data becomes important. Now, the figures so far as of July 20th is that night 1 has a current setup of 31,264 seats and 27,275 tickets distributed, and night 2 had a current setup of 31,425 seats and a distribution of 26,811. I don't understand why we have a setup of 31,264 for night 1 and 31,425 for night 2. I know they usually they don't use the seats behind the stadium where the ramp is and the stage and all that, but maybe they should start figuring out another way to set it up that way people can see from behind, a la WrestleMania 41 when they made this platform stage as part of the seating. It was a creative way. Probably they charge an arm and a leg for it, but it was nice. Now pay attention to the language WrestleTix said tickets distributed. It is not necessarily the same thing as similar to the AEW conversation as the final paid attendance. It is not the same thing as WWE's official attendance announcement, and is not proof that every seat in the building was available for individual purchase. At this point, we're looking at tracking estimates. They are useful, but they are not the final box office report. Also, do not take the setup number and subtract the distributed number if that automatically gives you the available tickets sometimes. For night one, like I said, 31,264, and then you subtract the 27,000 that was distributed, they are looking at 33,989 seats. But WrestleTix separately listed 33,175 available tickets, which the number is not mathing right now. For night two, 31,425, and you subtract it from the 26,811, it gives you 4,614, yet WrestleTix is reporting 3,800. Again, this is the exact reason why we need to use the tracker's own thing instead of inventing our own or whatever. Like, it's just, these websites are becoming like plagues for people to create a reason to complain. But anyway, the clean version of this is that WWE did not fail to sell 80,000 seats. That is not what the data says. The data says WWE configured roughly 31,000 seats per night at this time, and they distributed more than 27,000 for night one and 26 for night two, and still had thousands of tickets listed as available as of July 20th. This is the more accurate criticism and a stronger one, because at this point, this event is not sold out. It's just, and probably the reason why they've been doing the sale. The story also changed quickly because on July 10, reporting based WrestleTix figures for 22,000 tickets distributed for night one and 23,809 for night two. And at this point, the concern was obvious. The event was only a few weeks away, right? We're like a week away at this point, and the number that they have does not pace with the previous year's SummerSlam at MetLife. It's actually worse. WWE had claimed a combined attendance of 113,722 for SummerSlam last year, with 53,000 about on night one and 60,000 on night two. Where were the other 7,000 people for night one? Hell do I know. It completely doesn't make sense. You would expect it to be the same seating, but for some reason, more seating for night two. Unbelievable. But then they're saying SummerSlam 2026 numbers jump because by July 20th, night one had moved to 27,275 and 26,000, as you guys know. This is almost 9,000 additional distributed tickets across both nights for night two. And you probably can give that thanks to the sales. So the honest story at this point is not nobody wants to see WWE, that it's lazy. The honest story is that the event appeared to respond to a late sales push, while the original pricing and demand picture had created concern. And let me bring these ticket numbers down here. And what happened between those updates? WWE promoted, like I said, the limited time offer using the Minnesota Vikings star Justin Jefferson code with select ticket starting at $25. It doesn't prove, though, that the discount costs every ticket sale. We cannot even claim that without access to the purchase data, obviously. But, you know, the timing is kind of difficult to ignore when they started this promotion. The promotion arrived, ticket distributions increased sharply, and the conversation changed from, is this event is in trouble, to WWE has recovered a significant amount off the ground. It is not a failure, but it is a signal for now, because... do I have let me get the timestamp for this one. I thought I had the timestamp, but I guess not. Damn, I thought I had it. No, I definitely have it. Sorry, give me a minute. I definitely have it because I wrote it. All right, we're not gonna hold up the whole stream for a clip. I guess I have to edit it in. But let's continue. So this is where AJ enters the story, because on the Phenomenal Retro podcast, which I didn't even know until this week that he had a podcast, but maybe I can search it if it fails. There we go. Maybe it's that. It's all the way in the beginning. So this whole video clip we might as well go through, but this is where AJ Styles enters the story. Like I said, on the Phenomenal Expo Retro podcast, Styles was asked about the ticket situation, and he talked about the tickets and the significant crowd. This is what he says. So let's listen in.
What? 2 weeks. And now it's a 2-night event, same as WrestleMania. Used to be 1 night, now it's 2 nights. It's in Minnesota this year, which is a massive wrestling town. Some of the greatest wrestling talent in the world came out of Minnesota. The venue itself, I believe, holds 72,000.
Damn, 72,000
seats.
So it's a stadium.
It's a stadium.
Essentially, yes. It's I mean, there's no getting away from it. 72,000 is a large building. It's a lot. So for day one, current ticket sales, according to WrestleTix, current ticket sales for day one are 22,310.
Yo, his face, as soon as he heard that number, eyebrows up, shocked that it's low sales.
And day two ticket sales are 22,000, which means that for day two, they are 50,000 away from a sellout.
But again, like I said, it's not taking into account that they probably blocked out area for the stadium, for the event stage, which usually blocks out one of the 4 corners. So are they really going to use 70,000? Most likely not. They're probably maybe get close to around 50. I can be wrong though.
Me as a fan, I'm going to be looking at it thinking, how is that possible? What's your take on something like that?
Well, 20,000 people are coming back. But again, it is not a sellout. So is this thing successful? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're going to make money on this regardless.
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't be doing it. Or is it something that they're trying out and they go, okay, we can run a arena. You put the fact that the arenas usually only go for about 12,000, 14,000, something around in there. So they're still able to fit more people in the stadium. So they are doing better than an arena show, but it's, what do you want to get out of it? Is it one of those things where perception is reality? And
wow, he's looping a lot for a simple answer. This is a very measured answer, and he's not saying nobody cared, which is a very important distinction.
We want that to be the case, or is it all about? Which I know the answer to this. And a 2-day event where it's not sold out, but there are 20,000 people there each day, and they'll probably pick up at least another 5,000 to 10,000.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, the fact that it is only 2 weeks away, it doesn't concern me, obviously, because it's WWE, and it doesn't matter if it sells out or not. If there was 8 fans there, they would still have a show on Monday. It's going to keep, the machine will keep rolling.
That's true.
Do you think?
He did not say, though, that WWE was, like, you can hear, like, some people, when they hear low ticket sales, they think business failing, yada, yada, yada. As you can see, very calculated, measured response. He did not say WWE was going out of business. He said the number was meaningful, but the event was not sold out. Then they're actually gonna get to the price talk. So let's get to that.
What would you attribute low ticket sales to? Is it just the matches they've announced so far? The storylines that are currently going? What do you think?
You can't say. Sorry, you can't say the pricing's towards the card. Look at the card. I mean, maybe wrestling purists might think otherwise, but it is a card that will attract anyone, even just casual wrestling fans. Yep.
It's not one of those things where even the nosebleeds are a little expensive. So I think that might have something to do with it. I could be wrong. I would think that big shows like this, you would definitely have your tiers of where you're going to sit and how much they are. But I would say, man, when you get nosebleeds, let's make them freaking
cheap. Maybe £1.50. I'm kidding.
Let's sell the seats we can. And maybe that's something as we get closer that'll happen. Who knows? I mean, it's only 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
I mean, don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe this is a run to see how, it's not WrestleMania. So listen, how SummerSlam is going to, if SummerSlam's successful, then that means we make the other 2 big pay-per-views to 2 day events.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know if it's just a trial run or something like that. I'm a big fan of 1 day kind of stuff, but WrestleMania seems to do okay, and SummerSlam being 2 days, we're going to find out.
It's a big test for doing more than one WrestleMania 2 days event. This is a norm for WWE now. They're going to do, if SummerSlam does successful to the way for the heads up in WWE and TKO, they're gonna push next Royal Rumble. And if Royal Rumble does successful to 2 nights, guess what's going next? It's either Money in the Bank or War Games. They'll do a War Games match on 1 day and a War Games match on the other day. It's only meant to continue, because the more people that go to these events, they're gonna see it successful, and they're going to keep going. They're going to do more 2 nights events. It's crazy that they took a concept from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Wrestle Kingdom started doing 2 days events way before WrestleMania did. And then WWE did it and went crazy on steroids doing it. But when you do these events, it makes sense. And AJ Styles brings a good point that if you're going to have these big events and high rings like the 500 section or the 300, 400, depending on the stadium, make that top tier, that top ring that you could barely see unless you have binoculars and you're pretty much watching their big LED screens at this point. Make those tickets freaking cheap and dirt cheap. Sell a bunch of those. Why not? Because guess what? You sell it that way, you'll probably get them somewhere else with their wallets. You'll get them through merch. You'll get them with food from the venue. You're going to get them through travel too. You'll give them more opportunity to buy more merch. Got to sell those as fast as you can. It looks amazing when the whole stadium is full and you can get beyond the casual fans. You can get these wild fans that will cheer on crazily and give the atmosphere that you need for these events. AJ Styles' line is powerful because it comes from somebody that was inside the wrestling business. Style understands that a full building creates the energy. A hardcore fan may pay the most, as you know. He understands that also at the end of the day, because he's been on TV promotions for a while now, he understands that the television presentation looks better when the camera sees bodies instead of empty sections. And he understands that the cheapest seats are often where the casual fans make their decisions. A hardcore fan may pay almost anything to see CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. A casual fan is doing a different calculation. They're asking, how much is the ticket? How much is the fees? How much is parking? How much is food? Do I need a hotel? Do I need 2 days? Do I need to buy 2 separate tickets? And if I wait, will the price drop? Not a fan entitlement. That's the purchase decision some of these fans make nowadays. AJ Styles' point is very simple at the end of the day. If the upper level seats are priced like a premium experience, but the buyer experiences them as the farthest seat in the building, the value proposition collapses. At some point, the company has to decide whether it wants maximum revenue per seat or maximum bodies in the damn building. Those are not always the same goal or the same results that you'll get. Now, here's where the argument becomes bigger than SummerSlam. The issue is not simply whether WWE can sell tickets, right? WWE can definitely sell tickets. They always will. They always will figure out a way. The issue is whether the company is pricing live wrestling around the most committed fans in the market or around the average fan and needed to fill the building. Those are two different people. The committed fan may already have the money set aside. The average fan needs a reason. The average fan needs a price that makes the entire trip feel manageable. And a 2-night event changes the calculation. 2 nights can mean 2 tickets. It can mean additional hotel costs. It can mean more meals, more transportation, and more time away from work. That does not mean every fan experiences the event the same way. It means also the total weekend costs can become a barrier for most, and they'll not show up. The important thing is not to exaggerate this, though. We cannot prove from the ticket numbers alone that price was the only reason sales were slow. There could have been several other factors, such as creative direction that people are seeing, the timing of the card, the local market, the travel costs, and a lack of urgency. Maybe some people don't care. The 2-night format is also becoming a big factor on this. Am I really going to spend 2 back-to-back ticket price for a 2-night event? Versus I can just go all out for 1 night somewhere in London, for example, or simple uncertainty about what matches would actually happen. But price was clearly part of the conversation when it comes to the SummerSlam tickets. The July 10th reporting referenced an 84 get-in price and a 25% sale that has not yet produced a meaningful sales response. Then WWE promoted tickets starting at 25. The whole JETS code, but it does not tell us the average ticket price. It does not tell us the revenue impact. It does not tell us that WWE was willing to create a much lower entry point late in the sales cycle. And that is why dirt cheap seats are a patch. It is a fair argument. The discount may help fill sections. It may create television optics. It may even introduce new fans to the product. But if the same problem appears at event after event after event, the discount is not the strategy. It is emergency repair for the situation. Now, the affordability problem is going to become this. WWE can maximize the price of an event ticket, still lose the larger scale, because the larger sale is not one ticket. If it is the ticket, the trip, the hotel, the food, the parking, and the emotional confidence that the weekend is worth it, that is the difference between extracting money from the hottest buyers and building a live audience that keeps coming back. There's also another issue here: television optics. Wrestling is a live television product, right? The crowd is part of the presentation. The noise is part of the presentation. The wide shots of the crowd, of everything, are part of the presentation for the product. When the building looks full, the event feels important and worth going. When the cameras repeatedly avoid empty sections, viewers will notice. You do not need to be a ticket analyst to even understand that. Now, to be fair, WrestleTix setup was approximately 31,000 seats per night, not the full 66 or 75, depending on who knows this at this point for the stadium. So nobody should use an aerial photograph of the entire football stadium and claim WWE only sold a third of its wrestling configuration, because I'm assuming one side of the whole stadium is not going to be used. That would be misleading. The relevant comparison is between the seats WWE chose to configure and the seats that is distributed. On July 20th, those figures were close to 31,000, but not completely filled. Night 1 was 27,000 distributed against 31,000 setup, so on and so forth for night 2. The story is visibly remaining inventory in a deliberate reduced setup, with the possibility of additional sections being open if the sales continue the way they want it. In fact, they've done it in the past. They've opened more sections at last year's SummerSlam when they sold enough seats. So it might be a 30, 40,000, whatever setup. It might grow depending on how hot the tickets sell. This all tells us this situation needs to remain fluid. The setup itself could change, the distribution number could change, and WWE could continue adjusting the map. So the responsible conclusion when it comes to this whole ticket fiasco, at least for SummerSlam, is this. And everyone talking about SummerSlam is empty. The responsible conclusion is WWE had to work to move the configured inventory, and late pricing action appears to have coincided with a significant sales increase. AJ Styles also questions whether SummerSlam is being used as a test. The question is whether WWE wants more premium live events to become two-night events. That is a major strategic decision. 2 nights create more content for the program. They create more premium inventory going down the line. They give more wrestlers a major stage match. They can turn one weekend into a destination event, but 2 nights also creates a risk when it comes to that. The audience has to be willing to attend twice to the event and spend that money twice. The card has to feel strong enough across both nights, and the company has to avoid making night 1 feel like the warm-up show to night 2, just like this year's WrestleMania. That is a very important point to make. If fans believe the biggest matches are reserved for Sunday, they may delay their purchase for night 1. If they believe the matches are spread too thinly, they may decide one night is enough, maybe not even go at all. And if they believe the event can be watched from home, the live ticket price has to compete against convenience. Like me, I'm not going. I'd rather watch it at home. That does not mean the 2-night format cannot work. SummerSlam 2025 was also a 2-night event, and it was the first one for SummerSlam. And WWE announced that combined over 100,000 attendance, which I guess was successful for them. But one successful 2-night event does not guarantee that every market will support that same model for the years to come. Minneapolis is not New Jersey. US Bank Stadium is not MetLife Stadium. Different audience, different sales bracket, job markets, affordability indexes, so on and so forth. Also, the travel patterns are different. The local fan base is different. The card is different, and the price is different. I'm pretty sure the tickets for this year is much more than last year's SummerSlam. 2-night wrestling events are not automatically bigger because they last longer. They are only bigger if the audience believes both nights are essential. If the buyer sees one premium night and one optional night, the second night becomes a problem. That is not a creative issue alone. It's a packaging issue for the event. Now, to learn, what should WWE learn from this? Well, first, create a genuinely accessible entry price earlier when you initiate the sale. When you open the sales for the event, do a genuinely accessible entry price. Do not wait until the event is approaching to discover that fans cannot or will not pay for the original get-in price. The $25 promotion may help, but the late discounts can also train buyers to wait. That is a business hypothesis, not something we can prove from the available figures. It is something, though, a lot of fans have been doing ever since WWE's gotten expensive. They just wait till the last minute. Some just fly to the city and just hope, because it's actually cheap to just fly. And if they don't go, guess what? They just spend the weekend there, have a nice time, so on and so forth. They learn a new town. It's a reasonable risk for any live event company. If fans believe prices will drop, some buyers will just hold off. The second thing, make the value difference between tickets tiers very obvious. If the upper level seats are cheap, call it cheap. If the lower seats include a better sight line and a premium experience, explain that difference. With the seating, you get this nice seating, yada, yada, yada. Fans do not need every seat to cost the same or close to the same. They need the pricing ladder to make legit sense, guys. You're not paying $800 to be all the way up there and seeing ants fighting in a square napkin. So make it make sense. Third, make both nights feel like complete events. Do not sell night one at it is merely the opening chapter while asking fans to pay premium money. Each night needs its own identity. Each night needs matches people cannot simply watch later without feeling that they missed something. The fourth thing is measure success correctly. Now, what do I mean by that? A late surge in ticket distribution is positive, but it does not automatically prove that the initial pricing strategy was correct. Likewise, a discount is not automatically proof that the event failed. It means the company changed the offer. The real test is what happens next. What was the average ticket price? What was the final paid attendance, and how much inventory remained? WWE opened more sections, for example. Did the promotion create buyers, or mainly more existing inventory at a lower price? So the company can make money. I mean, do what you want and still have the pricing problem, though. A company can add thousands of fans through a discount and still have misread the market, and a company can have a successful event while learning that its original price point was aggressive. Two things can be true at the same time. WWE can still produce a major SummerSlam, great card, great beasts fighting each other in a Hell in a Cell match, and WWE can still need to rethink what fans are willing to pay for the privilege of being there. Anyway, here's where I land on this. The SummerSlam 2026 ticket story is not proof that WWE has lost its audience. It is not proof that the event was doomed. And it is not accurate to say WWE tried to sell 80,000 wrestling seats and failed. We need to wait until next weekend to see what actually happens. WWE configured at this point 31,000 seats per night, but we don't know if that's the final number. Then they can start selling the discount tickets and so forth. But the original price, timing, or the package may not have matched what enough fans were willing to pay. And that brings us back to the main story of this. Dirt cheap seats can fill a section. A discount can improve the television picture. A late promotion can create momentum. But if the company repeatedly needs a last minute price cut to make the building feel alive, then the price cut is not the cure. It is the symptom. The real question is whether WWE wants to maximize the money collected from the most committed fans or make live wrestling feel accessible enough that more people choose to attend in the first place. But anyway, drop your thoughts in the comments. Was the main problem ticket pricing, or the 2-night format, or the card, or the local market, or all of it together? And do you think WWE should make affordable upper level tickets available from day one? As always, if the tea hit right, hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.